Hello everyone and welcome to the next video in our series. My name is Chris Hall, and in this video we're going to look at bringing our image planes into Maya. But to start, let's look at Photoshop. And what you'll see is I have 4 views of my character Sven here. And what I have done is brought each of the different views that I'm going to use for modeling into Photoshop so that I can scale them and make sure they're exactly the same. So I've used the guides to help make sure that each one is the same, and then I use those guides and create individual images of each one. From here, let's go ahead and jump into Maya. Now, one of the key things as you're doing this, when you first open up Maya, do not zoom or pan or anything in any of your views. It's a good habit to get into. You can adjust them, but you'll save yourself a lot less pain if you don't adjust the scaling in any of the views. If you do, you can just hit the home button and it'll go to the home position. Now, as you can see, really quickly I brought all of those views into Maya through the view command image plane. So I brought in a top, a front, and a right. Now at this point what I'm going to do is I'm just moving them into position. I like my feet on the bottom of the grid, so I'm just moving those out. And what we're going to do is get ready here to also add an additional camera, because what's interesting is I also want to capture the back view of this because there's some details on the back. So what I do is go over to panels and create a new orthographic camera called back. Now, once that's in there, then I got to do the same thing, move it into position, and then I can also go ahead and rename that camera to back. Now that I have all my views in there, one of the things you're going to notice is selecting your image planes. Always either go under View, Select Camera, or select the cameras from your orthographic view. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm actually taking and I am trying to scale my camera, those camera icons down, because sometimes they get in the way. You know, I really don't need them. So if I scale them down to 0.001, look what happens. They're not in the way anymore. They're still there, but they're not in the way. And again, just to recap, what I can do is actually just view, select camera. It's a good habit to get into. So we'll go through here and continue to adjust the scale of the rest of our cameras. And it helps clean up our view a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is take each of these and put them on a layer. You may ask, well, why are you doing that? The reason I'm going to do this is so that as I'm going through and working, that as I'm selecting things, I don't constantly select the image plane. So what I'm doing is actually making it reference. So I'm taking each one of those, saying select camera, and assigning it to my image planes layer. That way they're completely referenced. Now you'll notice in my front view here that I have another kind of issue. As I'm looking at the front, I'm seeing the back. So one of the ways we can actually solve that is if we go into our camera attributes, and let's wait for this to catch up here. I'm just finishing this up. Now, what we want to do is we only want to have our image planes in the main views. So I'm going to look at the camera, and by selecting that option, I only see the view in each of my orthographic views. Now, there are some tricks out there that I've seen where people have actually used planes for their image planes instead of using the image plane tool. There's a lot of different ways to actually do this. So that's another way I've seen. And hopefully this will get you some real good tips and tricks. Make sure you check out our blog, because I'm referring to some videos that I used. There's a bunch of free videos at Digital Tutors that also goes over image planes that I would encourage you to look at. Look forward to seeing each of you in the next video. where we're going to actually start modeling our character. We're going to focus on the torso and the arms.